Have you ever seen these types of beautiful pictures of kids and wished you could take them? You can. Hi, I'm Wen May Hill from DP Review. In this photo recipe, we'll show you how to take pictures of your kids with smooth, out-of-focus backgrounds, just like the pros do. Let's look at the ingredients you'll need for this photo recipe. You'll need an interchangeable lens camera, a wide aperture lens, and at least one child. We'll talk about the first two items in a moment. You're on your own for the third. A camera with an interchangeable lens works best for this type of photo because you can choose the right kind of lens that you need to blur the background. There are several types of interchangeable lens cameras. For this type of shooting, an entry-level DSLR camera can offer good value in terms of cost and functionality. Lenses come in all shapes and sizes, but when shooting portraits, there are two key things we look at. The first is the focal length of the lens, which tells us how much the camera sees. The second thing we look at is the maximum aperture, which indicates how much we can blur the background. We also recommend using what's called a prime lens. A prime lens has one focal length and doesn't zoom. The focal length of the lens should be flattering for your subject. On most entry-level DSLRs, a 50mm lens is a great focal length for portraits. You'll also need a lens with a wide maximum aperture such as f1.8. The wider the aperture, the blurrier the background. Okay, let's set up the camera. The most important setting is the aperture, because that's what allows us to control the background blur. Put your camera in aperture priority mode, represented by an A or AV on the dial. Let's start with a wide aperture, like f2. You can always adjust it if you need to. Also, turn on Auto ISO. This allows the camera to automatically adjust its sensitivity based on how much light is available. Now it's time to start taking photos. Here are some things you should think about when setting up your shots. Position your subject. Your child should be close to the camera, but put as much distance between them and the background as possible. Get down. One mistake adults make is to photograph kids from too high. Get down to your child's eye level to show their perspective. And focus on the eyes. The eyes are what make a portrait pop. If the eyes are out of focus, the whole photo will seem to be out of focus. So let's do a quick review. First, start with an interchangeable lens camera and a prime lens with a wide maximum aperture. Next, set your camera to aperture priority mode and choose a wide aperture like f2. Finally, position your child far from the background and start taking photos. If you follow these tips, you should be able to get great photos of your kids with beautiful blurry backgrounds. For more photography tips, as well as more information about photography and cameras, visit us online at dpreview.com.